Hey, did you guys check that video about the sheriff that shot the judge? Let's check this out.
It's been nearly a month since a judge was killed in his chambers by the local sheriff who's been charged with murder. But what was the motive? Did it have something to do with the sheriff finding his 17-year-old daughter's number on the judge's phone? Amber Cogliano spoke with the sheriff's legal team.
We're getting new insight today into...
So basically, from the story we know back in the day, I'm talking like a couple months ago, we know that in an office, literally we had a sheriff literally shot a judge. And no one knew why until now that we discovered that basically he was texting his 17-year-old daughter? What the hell?
the mysterious fatal shooting of a judge by his buddy, the sheriff.
This was something that occurred in the heat of passion or under extreme emotional disturbance.
Anne Mercogliano spoke exclusively to the sheriff's husband and wife defense team, Jeremy and Carrie Bartley.
There are claims out there that the judge was having an inappropriate relationship with the sheriff's daughter.
There's a lot of wild speculation at this point. There's nothing we've seen that would substantiate that claim.
Investigators say moments before Kentucky Sheriff Sean Mickey Steins fired on Judge Kevin Mullins, the sheriff tried to call his 17-year-old daughter from the judge's phone.
Why would the judge have the sheriff's daughter's phone number in his phone?
Mr. Steins attempted to call his daughter from the judge's phone. And so whether the phone number was saved in, whether it was in there previously, we don't know, and we won't know until we have those phone records.
Why was he trying to call his daughter in those crucial moments?
That's something that we're still investigating.
Has he told you?
We can't comment on anything we've discussed with our client.
In this just released footage, you can see the judge trying to reason with the sheriff right up to the moment he opened fire. After the shooting, the sheriff told police, "They're trying to kidnap my wife and kid."
He had a sincere belief that his wife and daughter were in danger. The emotions rose to such a level at that point that he was unable to control his actions.
Video from a few years back shows the sheriff and his daughter goofing around, lip-syncing to, of all things, "I Shot the Sheriff." She recently turned 17.
Hey, that's
and the
a good
sheriff
music, though.
gushed, "You will never know how much I love you." The shooting is now tearing apart the small town of Whitesburg, Kentucky. The judge's wife launched this Facebook page, Justice for Kevin, with supporters offering prayers that justice will prevail. But others are posting, "There's a lot more to this story. I stand by Sheriff Steins."
Let's discover a little bit more on what truly transpired, because I really believe there's a lot more to the story.
It's all recorded and there's a digital recorder running. That will be, look, it'll show you that it's running. Look.
Come on now, guys.
No, look, we've known each other a long time. Look, it is recording.
That was then Sheriff Mickey Steins in custody after he'd shot and killed Judge Kevin Mullins in his chambers. Now we're learning new details about Steins' paranoia and possible mental health issues as his lawyer tries to get the case against him dismissed.
I know how that works, the camera and stuff. Take me downstairs. Y'all can interview me. I'll tell you the whole story downstairs.
Mickey Steins faces a murder charge for the shooting of Judge Kevin Mullins in his chambers nearly a year ago in Letcher County, Kentucky. There's no denying that Mickey Steins shot his friend of many years. It's all on camera, recorded by a surveillance system in the judge's chambers that's part of the courthouse. What's in dispute is Steins' level of legal culpability. He's pleaded not guilty to the murder charge, and his lawyers have contended from the very beginning that Steins was experiencing an extreme emotional disturbance that may make him guilty of manslaughter instead of murder. But right now, Steins' lawyer is trying to get the indictment charging Steins with murder thrown out. Jeremy Bartley maintains that prosecutors with the Commonwealth of Kentucky didn't give the grand jury all of the facts about Steins' mental health when grand jurors asked about it. I spoke with Bartley back in March about why he believes that Steins shot Mullins in the first place.
Yeah, he felt that his wife and daughter had been taken. And, I think that, there's a lot out there that touches on what was actually going on behind the scenes. We look at the Ben Fields deposition, the deputy that was convicted of having coercive sex with someone who was on probation and or on an ankle monitor at the time in the judge's chambers. We've got a video. I mean, if we take a step back here, we're talking about a live feed in the judge's office.
Yeah.
That's unheard of. I can't speak for the rest of the country, but I can speak for Kentucky. I've been in a lot of judges' chambers. I've seen a lot of cameras, but I've never seen one that was a live feed, basically a security camera. My understanding, that camera went up after this prosecution of Ben Fields in the civil suit. So we know in those chambers there was things going on that shouldn't have been going on.
Maybe the judge was a little bit more shady than what he looked like, and maybe there was actually something more going on into it. Because why would the sheriff just, grab his gun and shoot the fucking judge? Come on.
And we believe that there were folks that didn't want it being told in this deposition what was going on in there before they put cameras up. And I believe that there is a history that would show us that there is a reasonable belief that that he was in danger, his family was in danger, depending on what he said in this deposition. Now, again, we think that was exacerbated by his mental health, or conversely, these threats impacted his mental health. But the bottom line is that Mickey felt that there was a threat to his wife and daughter and that it was imminent.
Now, since that time, Bartley has filed a motion to dismiss the indictment, and the Commonwealth is asking to move the trial out of Letcher County, arguing that both sides, including the prosecution, are entitled to a fair trial. Prosecutors don't believe that can happen in Letcher County. Pretty interesting, because you don't often hear of prosecutors asking for a change of venue, but I have seen it happen in a couple of other cases, although it's rare that it actually moves the trial, that a judge grants that request. But back to the motion to dismiss. Bartley filed a brief to support his motion. It's now under seal, but some outlets got it before that happened, so we can tell you what's in it. Bartley is accusing the lead detective, Clayton Stamper, of making false statements to the grand jury. On November 21st, 2024, Bartley wrote that Stamper testified in front of the grand jury, and despite overwhelming evidence to the contrary, Detective Stamper and the Commonwealth put on testimony that the investigation showed defendant was in his sane mind. Bartley goes on to write that Stamper knew full well that there were concerns about Steins' mental health in the days leading up to the shooting, and that Steins had been diagnosed with acute stress reaction. A grand juror had asked whether there was any record of psychosis, hallucination, depression, or mental health issues with Steins. Bartley writes, however, the Commonwealth and its witness do not disclose that the same records from the day before the shooting, his doctor diagnosed an acute stress reaction. Another juror asks, so Dr. McDougall said pretty much there's no mental health issues, but was there any major physical health issues that he was struggling with that might have affected his mental health? The witnesses answer, no, not that I'm aware of. Bartley writes that Stamper also didn't tell the grand jurors about mental health symptoms Steins was exhibiting following his arrest. The brief states, the Commonwealth's witness failed to note the mental health evaluations that were initiated by the government vis-a-vis the jail. These examinations were conducted at Kentucky River Community Care on September 20th, 2024, September 23rd, 2024, and September 24th, 2024. Those evaluations included observations of active psychosis. He had been given risperidol and Seroquel by the jail prior to the exams, as noted in the medical record. Now, in fairness, the Commonwealth will say that these are trial issues. Here's one of the special prosecutors at a hearing last month.
Your Honor, I think defense counsel is conflating the role of a grand jury proceeding with the role of a criminal trial. It is very clear under the law that they are distinctly different proceedings. The grand jury is an investigative body. The Commonwealth has no obligation, as reflected in an abundance of case law, to come in, to present exculpatory evidence, and to attempt to mount a defense for the defendant.
It was a shocking moment. A sheriff shooting and killing a judge right in his chambers. There was buzz the motive had something to do with the sheriff's teenage daughter. Now she's breaking her silence.
It's shocking video. A sheriff fatally shoots a judge inside his judicial chambers. In this surveillance video, you can see the judge, Kevin Mullins, trying to reason with Kentucky Sheriff Mickey Steins right up to the moment he opened fire. Investigators say that moments before the shooting, the sheriff used the judge's phone to call his teenage daughter, whose number was apparently saved in the judge's phone. Rumors began to fly that the judge was in a relationship with the daughter.
Hello, everyone. My name is Lila Steins. I am 18 years old.
Now, the sheriff's daughter, Lila Steins, is finally addressing those rumors in a series of TikTok videos.
Do you all not have anything better to do than to sit and gossip? You are taking my pain and making it your pleasure.
She also had this to say.
A lot of you are asking, what stories? What do you mean by gossip? And what I mean by that is the stories that were made up about me and the other party, the rumors that had been spread about me.
Before the shooting, Sheriff Steins was the highest-ranking law enforcement official in Letcher County, Kentucky.
That's her. Right
This
there.
video was taken in 2018, showing him goofing around with his daughter in a patrol car, lip-syncing to, of all things, "I Shot the Sheriff."
I shot the sheriff, but I didn't shoot the deputy.
And "I Fought the Law."
Stories were made up about me and the other party.
So from what I understood from all of the story, basically you have a sheriff and a judge in the same room. And basically the sheriff asks the judge, hey, can I get your phone? Can I use it to make a phone call or something? And he gets the phone and he checks the phone's like repertoire or something. And he basically wanted to call his daughter. And at that point he sees that his daughter's phone number is already on the phone of the judge. And basically now he's like, why does the judge has the phone number of my daughter, you know? And maybe that he maybe had her phone number just because he had her phone number at some point, and maybe that the sheriff was actually thinking something else. Hey, maybe he was thinking that he was actually that maybe the judge was planning already something else at that point, because he already knew that he had something going on. Because I heard other rumors saying that maybe the judge with other acolytes and all of that had a probable sex ring or something like that, where they actually take advantage of women that already have a past in criminality or are still detained and stuff like that. Those are rumors. I don't know if they are true, but that's what I heard. And from what we saw in this, basically the daughter herself is saying that what's basically everybody is saying are just rumors and it's not true. So I don't believe that she had something with the judge, but maybe that the judge was already planning something, and that's what the dad was already looking into. And he was like, hold on. And maybe that's why he did what he did. But to me, there's literally that's the only explanation possible at this point. So you guys let me know down in the comments below, what do you think about this whole case? I mean, for how fucked up it is, let me know down in the comments below, guys. And on that note, thank you for staying until the end of the video, and your boy's gonna see you in the next one. Peace.